Hello Trig class. This video is to continue with the lecture on 7.6 where we left off in this handout. So, as I was saying in class, if you have a function of a function, just work out the inside function first and do the outside function second. This is an inverse trig function, so to work it out, we'll want to remind ourselves what it is. What does this mean? Y is the inverse cosecant of x. Okay. This is what it means. It means that the cosine of y is x and the y's come from quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. Cosecant of y is x and the y comes from quadrant 1 or 4. All right, I like to have a ratio, like a top and a bottom, because trig functions are defined in terms of those ratios. So I'm going to think of x as x divided by 1, because that's the same thing, and that way I have a top and a bottom. And the top part of cosecant is hypotenuse, and the bottom is opposite. All right, so here's my situation. That in my picture, my angle y is such that it makes a triangle with hypotenuse of x and an opposite side of a 1. So that's your angle y right there. Now if that's y, and it is because that's how we named it, that means that this guy is the sine of y. And y and sine is opposite divided by hypotenuse. So in the picture, I need the opposite side, which I have, and I need the hypotenuse, which I have. It's x. So sine is opposite divided by hypotenuse. So that's just 1 divided by x. All right, next one, again, it's a function of a function, so work on the inside part first. It's the same inverse trig function, so it'll mean the same thing. I'm going to name this part y, work on the inside again. Then y is the inverse cosecant of, in this case, 3 over x. That means the cosecant of y is 3 over x, and the y's come from quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. Okay, and like before, cosecant is hypotenuse divided by opposite. So off I go and draw myself a picture so I can figure it out. Here we go. Okay, so hypotenuse, draw myself a triangle. Hypotenuse is 3, and the opposite side is x, because we already worked that out. To do tangent of y, because I named the inside function y, tangent is opposite divided by adjacent. I don't have the adjacent side. I'm going to call it A for adjacent. And I'll need to come up with an expression for it because I need to put it here. So, but I can use Pythagorean's theorem and say that this side squared plus this side squared is the hypotenuse squared. So A squared would be 9 minus x squared. So the adjacent side is the square root of 9 minus x squared. Okay, so opposite is x, and the adjacent side is the square root of 9 minus x squared. All right, so that one's done. Okay, let's see what we got going on here now. So it says that there's a fireworks display. And this guy named Ethan is 9 miles away. So we're going to call this display. And then we're going to put Ethan 9 miles away. Okay, it says that the fireworks are 0.4 miles up. So we got those two sides, and I'm asked to find the angle. Well, that's what trig functions are for. Trig functions are for relating angles to sides in a triangle. This picture has opposite and adjacent, so we would use the tangent function. Could also use cotangent, but tangent is opposite divided by adjacent, so that is 0.4 divided by 9. So if you solve tangent theta equal to 0.4 divided by 9, that would mean that theta is the inverse tangent of 0.4 divided by 9. That is the answer, but in case it wants a numerical answer from a calculator, we could just put that into a calculator. So what is the inverse tangent of 0.4 divided by 9? According to the calculator, it's 0.0444, and that would be in radians. If I wanted it in degrees, I could just switch it to degree mode, or I could take that answer I just had, multiply by 180 degrees divided by pi radians. So let's do that in case you want it in degrees. So multiply by 180 degrees per pi radians. Okay, so times 180 and divided by pi. 2.545 degrees. Okay, so now it's the last problem. All right, so you're going to plant a large tree, and you're going to attach a wire to the tree to stabilize the tree. Okay, so let's do that. So let's put the tree, say, here. And it says there's a wire that is attached to the tree and staked at a distance of 49 inches. So here's my wire attached to the tree. 49 inches from the base of the tree, so this is 49 inches. And the wire itself is 66 inches long. So here's your angle, and that's the angle I'm supposed to find. I have an adjacent side and I have the hypotenuse, so I want to use cosine because cosine is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So that makes cosine of theta equal to 49 divided by 66. So get rid of the cosine function, just get to the theta by taking the inverse cosine of both sides. That is something on your calculator. And this time let's go straight to degree mode. So doing radians first. So this one is in degree mode. That's what the DEG is. So if you do cosine inverse of 49 divided by 66, it tells me you get 42.06 degrees. And that finishes up the discussion on 7.6. See you later.